if this has worked, I'll be in focus and the background will be slightly blurry. Hi guys, so I got a request to make a how-to video for Save My Life by John Smith, and I realised that I'd actually figured out a little while ago but never gotten around to making a video for it, so I thought I'd do that for you now. We'll do it kind of stepwise, so I'll show you the really basic chords first and then add in kind of more and more parts to make it sound more like the studio album version and a live version of YouTube that I've been using as well for kind of the solos and some of the extra picking parts. So the basic structure of the song is most of it's just 4 chords and they're nice and easy to play. The song's going to be in drop D tuning, so you can tune your bottom string down to D. And then the 4 chords that most of the song's going to be built on are A minor, which is exactly the same as in normal tuning. Then D, but leaving the top string open. Then next is G, and because we're in drop D we're going to play that slightly differently, so we're going to play the 5th fret of the bottom string, then mute the next string, then play open 4th string, then play the 4th fret as the 3rd string and the 3rd fret as the 2nd string. And then the last chord is going to be E minor, which we're going to play by playing the 2nd fret of the bottom string, muting the 5th string, and then playing the 2nd fret as the next string. And that's it. So, nice and slowly, I'll play you through those 4 chords, and hopefully you'll be able to hear the rough melody of the song. Easy. So that's the main sections of the song. There's a few extra things he does to make it a little bit more interesting, but play around with that first, make sure you're comfortable with it. If you struggle with these next bits or with the other sort of chord section that I'll show you in a minute, you probably can get away with just playing that for most of the song and singing along with it. It'll probably still work. But let's look at some of the extra bits you can add in. So the first one is after the D chord. When we move to the G, we're going to play the 4th fret of the bottom string as a kind of step up to our G. So let me show you what I mean. A minor to start with, to the D, yeah, and then when we move from the G down to the E minor, we're going to step down. So we can go back to the 4th fret, and then we're also going to play the 2nd fret of the G string as well. So I'll take you through that nice and slowly, so you can see what I mean. Starting off with A minor, then from D, then step up, then step back down. So, from there, the next section is a slightly different second 2 chords. So instead of moving down to the E minor, we're going to move down to a C instead. Okay, so he uses this in the introduction of the song and in the chorus as well. So we're going to play exactly the same thing until we get up to the G chord. Instead of stepping down, we're going to play kind of a B sus chord. So we're going to bar the 2nd fret, and then play the 4th fret of the D string and the 3rd fret of the B string. And then move down to C. So. Second time round, we just play the same version that we did the first time. plays that in the introduction, and that's how he plays the choruses as well. So you're just ending the section on a major chord rather than a minor chord. So for the introduction, he plays once through ending on the major, once through ending on the minor, and for the chorus he does that twice. Yeah, from there the only other chord section is the middle eight, which is nice and simple, just 3 chords. So you're going to play kind of a power chord version of B, I guess. So you're going to play the 2nd fret, and then the 4th fret on the 3rd string, sorry, the 4th fret on the 4th string, and the 4th fret on the 3rd string. So then to the C chord, and then up to G. And the second time you're going to do exactly the same thing, but when you hit the G chord, you're then going to cycle down through the chords to C. So you're going to play, I'll show you first and I'll talk you through it. So, G, stepping down, then to E minor, then to D, then to C, then finish back on D. And that's it. That's all of the chord sections for the whole of the song. The next thing we're going to do is have a look at some of the extra little picking bits that he plays. He quite often kind of mirrors his vocal part on the guitar while he's playing, which again with a little bit of practice isn't too hard to do. So let me show you how he does that. So let me take you through some of the extra picking patterns that he plays. To start off with, in the introduction, before he lands on the A minor chord, he plays the first part of the vocal riff. So you start on the 3rd fret of the B string, and then you're going to hammer up to the 5th fret and then back down. So into the A minor. So 3, 5, 3, 1, open, A minor. Between the A minor and the D chords, you're going to essentially take off and on the 1st fret of the B string. So all he's doing there, as he steps up, he's accenting the off notes, the off beats, with the 3rd fret of the B string. So, where were we there? So, that's the first time round. The second time round, it's very, very similar. Except, well, I'll show you. So the second time round, this is going very much off the YouTube video that I was watching earlier. Again, we play the vocal riff to start with. Then when you go to the D, he does a little step down, so a little run down, sorry. So he plays the 2nd fret, then open, and then the 4th fret. So that whole little section. So there, as he steps down, you just hammer on with the 2nd fret there. So we'll try and play that through without too many mistakes, the whole of the introduction. Not perfect, but you get the idea. So he plays that through the introduction. For the verses, he is just playing the chords, occasionally playing the hammer-ons on the A minor, and as he's stepping down to the E minor, but otherwise just strumming through the chords. Into the choruses, he tends to play this first section as he's going into the A minor each time. But again, you can just play through whatever you think sounds best, leaving those in or out as you like. The only other section is he plays a very small guitar solo after the second chorus. So essentially, the first run through, he plays exactly as we've just done in the introduction. Down to the E minor, and then from there he plays. So he runs up, and instead of most of the song we've been playing in 16th notes, so 1 E and 2 E and for this part of the solo, he plays it in triplets instead, so it feels slightly more stretched out. So he plays. So that's in triplets, and then you go back into counting in 16th notes, if that makes sense. So you would play. So from there, down a fret. And then he plays, what does he play? So it's probably easiest to have a look at the YouTube video to get a better idea of the timing, because it is slightly complicated. But I'll have a go at playing it through so you get a rough idea. And then he goes back into and then when you hit the E minor, he just adds in that extra little lick. So that's the second fret of the G string, sliding up to the fourth. And that's everything. Okay guys, so that's everything. I hope that was helpful. If there's anything that you think he plays a little bit differently, or any suggestions, just let me know. If there's any other songs you want me to try and figure out for you, I'll give that a go as well if I have time. And yeah, let me know how you get on. If you end up playing these songs, make a video and upload it, because I'd really like to see. Yeah, thanks very much for watching. Bye.